Are you aware of the quiet power you carry, a force that reshapes the way others see themselves? Your presence alone serves as a mirror, reflecting the weight of their past actions and the lessons they've yet to learn. It's not just strength, it's resilience, a reminder to the world that mistreatment cannot diminish your worth. As we explore the complex emotions of shame and regret, we uncover how your growth becomes a catalyst for their introspection, leaving them to confront the echoes of their choices. The first reason for their embarrassment lies in the sudden clarity with which they see their own actions. It's as if a fog has lifted, and they're forced to confront the emptiness of their choices. Imagine this: someone who once belittled your ideas in a meeting now struggles to contribute, their voice faltering under the weight of their past behavior. This isn't just awkwardness, it's a deep and undeniable awakening, reminiscent of the moment Peter wept bitterly after denying Jesus 3 times. In that instant, his bravado vanished, replaced by a raw and painful awareness of his failure. Such moments of reckoning strip away illusions, leaving only the truth and a chance for redemption. This moment becomes a turning point, carving a lasting impression in their conscience and reshaping their perspective. They are forced to confront the stark contrast between their actions and the unwavering strength of your character, a contrast as blinding as the first light of dawn after a long, dark night. Your very existence becomes a symbol of accountability, a silent reminder of the truth they tried to bury. Their composure falters in everyday encounters. A coworker who once undermined you now avoids your gaze in the break room, or an old acquaintance who spread lies now fumbles with forced smiles and hollow words at a passing reunion. These moments of reckoning ripple through their lives, leaving them no place to escape the weight of their own wrongs. The burden of their actions clings to them like an unshakable shadow, a constant reminder of the choices they wish they could undo. Their regret brews like a storm on the horizon, unyielding and impossible to ignore. Each interaction with you feels like standing in the eye of that storm, calm on the surface, but with the weight of their guilt swirling just beneath. They are acutely aware of the harm they've caused, and the realization cuts deeper with every passing day. It's as though the truth of their behavior has etched itself into their very being, a mark that cannot be hidden or erased, visible in every hesitant word and every averted glance. Your unwavering strength becomes the mirror they cannot avoid, reflecting every flaw and failure they so desperately wish to erase. It's not just your integrity that haunts them, it's the quiet power in your ability to rise above their wrongdoings, standing tall where they once tried to bring you down. Their regret is no longer a passing thought, but a persistent ache, a shadow that follows them in every interaction, every unspoken word. They see in you a resilience that magnifies their own shortcomings, and in your eyes they find no anger, only the undeniable truth of what they've done. It is this truth, silent yet piercing, that becomes their heaviest burden to bear. Your presence stands as a towering reminder of what they failed to be, illuminating their shortcomings with an intensity they cannot escape. In your silence, they hear an unspoken verdict, each moment near you feeling like a trial where their guilt is laid bare. The weight of your integrity presses on them, stripping away the layers of denial they once clung to. Every word they speak, every gesture they make, feels inadequate under the stark clarity of your truth. Their fear is not just of being judged by you, but of being exposed to themselves, forced to confront the depth of their moral failing in the light you so effortlessly embody. The third reason they are embarrassed is rooted in the fear of exposure, a dread that clings to them like an invisible chain. They move through life with an anxious hesitation, each glance from others feeling like a silent accusation, each casual interaction a potential uncovering of their misdeeds. The thought of your quiet, knowing gaze unsettles them most, for it carries the weight of truth they cannot deny. Imagine the colleague who once undermined you, now shrinking into the background of meetings, their voice faltering as they sense the unspoken judgment hanging in the air. It's not just your presence that unnerves them, it's the possibility that others, too, might see through the cracks in their facade. In the intricate stage of everyday life, these moments unfold with striking clarity. Picture the friend who once betrayed your trust, now lingering awkwardly at the edges of gatherings, their laughter forced and eyes darting, as if every glance might reveal their hidden shame. Or the family member who spoke behind your back, now fumbling through strained pleasantries at reunions, their guilt an unspoken barrier neither of you can ignore. Their discomfort is palpable, a living reminder that the truth, though unspoken, is ever present, etched into the fabric of every shared space and fleeting interaction. Your presence becomes an unyielding force, a mirror they cannot turn away from, reflecting every flaw they've tried to conceal. It's not just guilt that consumes them, but the paralyzing fear of being fully seen, stripped of the masks they once wore so confidently. Their shame is a tempest, churning within, unsettling their foundation, and leaving them exposed to their own conscience. Like Prometheus facing the wrath of Zeus after defying divine order, they feel the crushing weight of vulnerability, their misdeeds now an inescapable part of their story, illuminated by the clarity of your unwavering truth. The revelation of her schemes stripped away the armor she had carefully constructed, leaving her vulnerable before the unforgiving gaze of her once adoring peers. Every word, every look, carried the sting of condemnation, forcing her to confront the depth of her betrayal. Her once commanding presence now faltered, her confidence crumbling like a fragile facade under the relentless pressure of judgment. This confrontation with her own fallibility was not just humbling, it was transformative, unraveling the illusion of control she had clung to and forcing her to reckon with a new, harsher reality where power and respect were no longer hers to command. Your unwavering presence becomes a towering monument to everything they failed to uphold, an unspoken verdict etched into every shared moment. The weight of their guilt coils around them like iron chains, forged not by your actions, but by their own. In your eyes, they see not anger or accusation, but a quiet strength that stands as both a rebuke and a reminder of what they could have been. You are not their enemy, yet they fear you as though you hold the power to lay bare their every secret. Your dignity, unshaken and pure, casts a light so bright that it reveals the cracks in their foundation, making every word they speak and every step they take feel like a plea for absolution they'll never believe they deserve. To them, you are no longer just a person, but a living embodiment of their conscience, an unspoken reminder of the moral debt they cannot repay. Your very presence ignites a blazing inferno of self-awareness that strips away their carefully maintained facade, leaving them raw and exposed. In every glance, every moment of silence, they feel the weight of an unspoken sentence, as though the universe itself has chosen you as the vessel of their reckoning. The shame they carry is a heavy chain, and the fear of being truly seen, by you, by others, by themselves, ensnares them in an endless loop of guilt, a prison of their own making from which there is no easy escape. Their shame is a living thing, clinging to them like a shadow they cannot outrun, its weight pressing down with every shared space and fleeting glance. In the unspoken moments of everyday life, it manifests as a crack in their voice, a hesitation in their step, a fleeting avoidance of your gaze. The colleague who once dismissed you now fumbles over their words, their authority crumbling in the absence of the respect they once wielded so carelessly. The old friend who betrayed your trust now lingers on the edges of conversations, their laughter hollow, unable to reclaim the easy warmth that once defined your bond. Their guilt is a silent specter, a constant reminder of the fracture they caused, a wound that no amount of time or effort can fully mend. Like a fallen hero in a tragic play, they are left to wander through the ruins of their pride, forever haunted by the echoes of what they have lost. The third reason they are embarrassed lies in the aching void left by the loss of your respect, a loss that echoes louder than any external judgment ever could. They now carry the weight of knowing that the bond once built on trust and admiration has crumbled, leaving only fragments of what used to be. It's not merely embarrassment they feel, but a profound sense of failure, a crack in their very identity. Like the friend who betrayed your confidence and now finds themselves shrinking in your presence, they are haunted by the dignity you exude, a silent, unyielding reminder of the trust they squandered. Every interaction with you becomes a painful reckoning, a lingering reminder of the respect they once cherished but will never regain. Their shame is a living thing, clinging to them like a shadow they cannot outrun, its weight pressing down with every shared space and fleeting glance. In the unspoken moments of everyday life, it manifests as a crack in their voice, a hesitation in their step, a fleeting avoidance of your gaze. The colleague who once dismissed you now fumbles over their words, their authority crumbling in the absence of the respect they once wielded so carelessly. The old friend who betrayed your trust now lingers on the edges of conversations, their laughter hollow, unable to reclaim the easy warmth that once defined your bond. Their guilt is a silent specter, a constant reminder of the fracture they caused, a wound that no amount of time or effort can fully mend. Like a fallen hero in a tragic play, they are left to wander through the ruins of their pride, forever haunted by the echoes of what they have lost. Like Brutus, they too come to understand the devastating weight of lost respect, a burden that reshapes how they see themselves and how the world sees them. The principles they once held high now feel like fragile illusions, shattered by the consequences of their actions. Every interaction is a silent rebuke, every glance a reminder of the trust they squandered and the ideals they betrayed. The foundation of their identity, once built on conviction and purpose, now lies in ruins, leaving them adrift and alone. This loss is not just a moment of shame, but a turning point, a fracture in their legacy that they cannot repair, forever altering the story they will leave behind. Your unwavering presence becomes the mirror they cannot avoid, reflecting back the depth of their moral failing. Each moment in your company is a silent reckoning, a relentless confrontation with the chasm between who they were and who they have become. Your integrity shines with an unspoken power, casting a light that exposes the shadows of their choices. To them, you are no longer just an individual, but a monument of what they have lost, a living embodiment of the respect, trust, and dignity they forfeited. Every word, every glance, every fleeting silence from you feels like a judgment they cannot escape, a weight they must carry, binding them in a ceaseless cycle of regret and yearning for absolution. To them, you are a relentless reminder of everything they once valued and irretrievably lost. Your presence stands as an unyielding monument to their downfall, casting a stark light on the gap between who they were and who they have become. The respect they forfeited now feels like a wound that refuses to heal, a void that consumes their sense of self with every passing moment. You are not merely a person in their life, you are their conscience personified, a living reflection of their moral collapse. Each encounter with you deepens the weight of their shame, trapping them in an endless spiral of regret where the memory of respect lost is more unbearable than any external judgment could ever be. The fourth reason they are embarrassed lies in the unmasking of their hidden agenda, a stark revelation that strips away their carefully constructed facade. Their once secret motives now feel like an open wound, raw and exposed under the piercing clarity of your awareness. Imagine the friend who manipulated situations to their advantage, now paralyzed by the knowledge that their schemes are no longer hidden, their pretense shattered. Your presence becomes a mirror they cannot avoid, reflecting the truth they tried so desperately to conceal. Every conversation, every shared space, becomes a silent confrontation with their unveiled deception, an unbearable tension where the weight of their dishonesty lingers, heavy and inescapable. The humiliation they feel is not a passing sting, but a deep, lingering wound that infiltrates their very identity. It clings to them like a shadow, following them into every interaction, every quiet moment of reflection. The colleague who once spread lies to tarnish your credibility now fumbles through polite exchanges, their confidence eroded by the undeniable truth you represent. The family member who betrayed your trust now finds their words faltering, the weight of their exposed betrayal too heavy to bear. Your presence is a silent testament to their actions, a quiet yet powerful reminder of the mask they can no longer wear. Every encounter with you becomes an unspoken reckoning, a moment where the truth they sought to bury rises to the surface, unrelenting and inescapable. Their exposure is a tempest of raw vulnerability, tearing away the carefully woven fabric of their deceit and leaving them defenseless in the glaring light of truth. Like Icarus, who soared too close to the sun only to have his wings melt, their ambitions and schemes have crumbled under the weight of their own arrogance. What once seemed like calculated brilliance is now revealed as reckless dishonesty, and the very people they sought to manipulate now look upon them with disdain. Every glance, every whispered word feels like a verdict, stripping them of the respect and authority they once clung to. This moment of unmasking becomes their undoing, a turning point that reshapes their identity and forever tarnishes their place in the story they sought to control. Your unwavering integrity is their unyielding torment, a beacon of truth that pierces through the shadows of their deceit. To them, you are not merely a person, but an unspoken verdict, a constant force that dismantles their illusions and lays bare the reality they worked so hard to conceal. Every glance from you feels like a spotlight, illuminating the cracks in their carefully crafted facade. Your presence becomes an unrelenting mirror, reflecting the dissonance between who they pretend to be and who they truly are. In their minds, you are more than a witness. You are the embodiment of accountability, a quiet yet powerful force they cannot escape, serving as both their reckoning and their reminder of what they have lost. The revelation of their true motives ignites a blaze that consumes every shred of their composure, leaving only the ashes of their former self-assurance. You are the inescapable arbiter of their actions, a silent force that demands accountability for the lies they wove. This understanding traps them within an endless loop of remorse and self-reproach as their mind replays the moment their facade crumbled. Your unwavering presence stands as a monument to the truth they tried to bury, a living reminder of the chasm between their intentions and their integrity. It is this unrelenting exposure, this stark confrontation with their own moral failures, that becomes their greatest torment, a weight they can neither evade nor endure. The sixth reason for their embarrassment is the crushing weight of self-awareness, an acute realization of the damage they have done not only to you, but to themselves. They are ensnared by the knowledge that their actions have not just harmed others, but have also corroded the very foundation of their character. Imagine the friend who once betrayed your trust, now shrinking into themselves whenever they encounter you, each moment a searing reminder of the bond they shattered. Your unwavering presence becomes a symbol of the person they could have been, a reminder of the path they chose to forsake. Each glance in your direction feels like a spotlight on their failures, and every word exchanged carries the echo of their broken integrity. This isn't just regret, it's a profound reckoning with their own reflection, a gnawing awareness that they are now defined as much by their remorse as they are by the choices that brought them to this place. The colleague who once undermined your efforts now stumbles over their words in your presence, their guilt a constant shadow that clouds every interaction. Their remorse is not just a fleeting emotion, but an unrelenting wave of self-recrimination crashing against the walls of their pride and pretense. Like a fallen knight returning from a battlefield of their own making, they carry the scars of their betrayal, wounds inflicted not just on you, but on their own sense of honor. Each encounter with you is a crossroads, a moment where their shame collides with an unspoken hope for redemption. They long for a chance to rebuild what they destroyed, but the weight of their actions keeps them pinned under the heavy burden of self-doubt. In this tension lies the possibility for transformation, where their regret could either wither into despair or bloom into a hard-won lesson in accountability and grace. Your resilience is their undoing, your unshaken principles a glaring contrast to the cracks in their own character. Each moment in your presence feels like a silent verdict, a reminder that their choices have left indelible marks they cannot erase. To them, you are not merely a person, but a living embodiment of accountability, a force that quietly yet powerfully exposes the truths they wish to bury. Your calm, unwavering demeanor becomes a mirror they cannot avoid, reflecting the full depth of their regret and the inescapable burden of their missteps. In your steadiness, they see the path they failed to take, a reminder of the integrity they abandoned and the consequences that now define them. To them, you are the living embodiment of the balance they desperately seek but fear they will never achieve. Their guilt festers like an open wound, stripping away their pretense and leaving them vulnerable in the face of their own conscience. You are not just a reminder of their actions, but a force that silently demands they confront the truth they've long avoided. This awareness traps them in a relentless spiral of self-reproach, where every thought of you becomes a confrontation with the values they betrayed. Your unwavering presence is a beacon of the integrity they lost, a mirror reflecting not only what they've done, but what they could have been. It is this unrelenting truth that weighs on them, a burden they cannot escape or endure. The seventh reason for their embarrassment is the loss of control over how they are perceived by others. They once curated an image of confidence, kindness, or integrity, only to see it unravel in the light of their actions. Picture the colleague who once prided themselves on being a team player, now forced to confront the fact that their sabotage betrayed not only you, but the very principles they claimed to uphold. Your presence becomes a silent spotlight, illuminating the gap between the persona they carefully crafted and the reality of their behavior. Each interaction with you feels like a quiet unveiling, exposing the vulnerability they worked so hard to hide. It's not just their self-image that is shattered, it's their belief in their ability to control the narrative of who they are. This is not just a fleeting discomfort, it is a profound unraveling of their identity, a fracture that threatens the foundation of who they believe themselves to be. These moments of self-confrontation are unrelenting, like a spotlight that cannot be dimmed. The friend who once dismissed your achievements to elevate their own now falters in casual conversations, their words hesitant and heavy with the weight of their own hypocrisy. Their composure, once a shield, now betrays them as the cracks in their carefully constructed persona grow impossible to conceal. Each encounter with you becomes a battle between the person they pretended to be and the truth they can no longer ignore. The friend who once dismissed your struggles with indifference now falters in your presence, their confidence eroding under the weight of their own awakening. The carefully woven mask they wore begins to unravel, thread by thread, as they grapple with the truth of their actions. Their self-perception, once a fortress of denial, is now a fragile shell cracking beneath the pressure of regret and shame. Each interaction with you stirs an internal storm, a chaotic blend of guilt, self-reproach, and the painful realization that the person they thought they were exists only in fragments, scattered and irretrievable. Like Icarus who flew too close to the sun, there comes a moment when self-delusion meets its inevitable collapse. The individual who once thrived on their inflated sense of superiority begins to see the brittle nature of their pride. Their arrogance, once a shield against vulnerability, now reveals itself as the very source of their isolation. As they come to grips with the emptiness of their pursuits, a wave of sorrow washes over them, a sorrow not just for the harm they caused others, but for the person they might have been. Their once admired confidence now feels like a hollow echo, a reminder of a life spent chasing illusions. In this moment of reckoning, they are left to face the truth. that their greatest downfall was not external, but the blindness within themselves. Your unwavering presence becomes the mirror they cannot escape, reflecting the stark truth they've long tried to avoid. To them, you are no longer just a person, but a living embodiment of their failures and the lies they once told themselves. Every interaction feels like a trial, your quiet strength serving as both their judge and their sentence. The weight of your existence presses on them, forcing them to confront the shards of a broken identity they can no longer piece together. In your calm, they see their chaos. In your authenticity, they feel the depth of their own pretense. What once gave them power now leaves them powerless, trapped in the inescapable reality of who they truly are. To them, you are the living proof of everything they tried to suppress, the unavoidable reflection of their flaws and missteps. Your very existence becomes an unrelenting spotlight, illuminating the cracks in the facade they once clung to. Their carefully constructed confidence crumbles into dust, replaced by an overwhelming sense of vulnerability they cannot escape. You are not merely a person in their story, but the turning point, the force that compels them to confront the truth they've long evaded. Each encounter with you deepens the chasm within them, a spiral of regret and self-recrimination that leaves them hollow. Your presence is a silent judgment, a constant reminder of the moral compass they abandoned, and the weight of this realization becomes their heaviest burden. The seventh reason they are embarrassed is the realization that their silence spoke louder than any words of encouragement ever could. They now see the countless moments when they could have reached out, offered a hand, or simply stood by your side, but instead chose inaction. Your presence is a living testament to the growth you achieved despite their absence, a quiet yet powerful reminder of the role they could have played in your journey. Every time they see you, they are haunted by the opportunities they let slip through their fingers, the missed chances to uplift, to guide, to connect. The weight of what could have been hangs heavily over them, a shadow of remorse they cannot escape. This is more than mere regret. It is the weight of unfulfilled potential, an unshakable reminder of roads not taken. In the quiet moments of reflection, the consequences of their choices loom large, woven into the narrative of their lives. The friend who once turned away from your struggles now feels the sting of their absence, seeing the strength you've built without them. Each passing day serves as a silent testament to the opportunities they let slip, the connections they neglected, and the growth they could have shared but chose to ignore. Their present is shadowed by the echo of what might have been, a poignant reminder of the value they failed to see. The family member who once dismissed moments to connect now feels the hollow ache of estrangement, their silence a heavy reminder of the love and trust that could have grown. In the stillness of shared spaces, the absence of a deeper bond speaks louder than any words, a chasm carved by their indifference. They are left to grapple with the memories of chances ignored and gestures withheld, each one now a thread in the tapestry of regret that surrounds them. What could have been a source of joy and pride is now a quiet void, a reminder that the bridges left unbuilt have forever altered the landscape of their relationship. The teacher who failed to nurture the brilliance of their most promising student now finds themselves forgotten, their legacy diminished by the very potential they chose to stifle. Their insecurity and need for control blinded them to the opportunity to uplift and guide, turning what could have been a lasting mentorship into a story of missed connection. Each attempt to hold the student back became a mirror reflecting their own shortcomings, stripping away the respect and influence they once held. As the student rose, carving their own path to success, the teacher was left in the shadow of their unfulfilled role, a poignant reminder that true greatness lies in fostering the growth of others, not in suppressing it. In their eyes, you are the living proof of what could have been, a constant reminder of the heights they might have reached but chose to ignore. You stand as a beacon of resilience and growth, casting light on the shadows of their hesitations and missteps. This realization engulfs them, a relentless blaze that strips away their defenses and lays bare the vulnerability they worked so hard to conceal. To them, you are not just a person, but a symbol of potential unrealized, of paths untaken, and of the courage they lacked to seize the moments that mattered most. Your very existence stands as a mirror to their failures, an unspoken testament to the bridges they chose not to build. Every interaction with you is a sting, a piercing reminder of the moments they let slip through their fingers. The weight of what could have been presses down on them, a silent yet crushing force that they cannot escape. In your calm and resolute presence, they see the echoes of decisions unmade and respect unearned, a living embodiment of the bond that was allowed to wither. It is not anger or resentment that haunts them, but the quiet realization that their inaction has forever shaped the distance between you. This realization traps them in a relentless spiral of what-ifs and unspoken apologies, a prison of their own making where regret is the warden. Your very existence becomes a mirror they cannot avoid, reflecting the dreams they abandoned and the chances they let slip through their fingers. Each glance, each memory intensifies the weight of their remorse, forcing them to confront the void left by their inaction. It is not just the opportunities they missed that haunt them, but the undeniable truth that they alone are the architects of their unfulfilled potential. When you stand before those who shrink from your presence, understand that their discomfort is born not from you, but from the truths you represent, truths they cannot ignore. Your strength, your perseverance, and your unwavering resolve shine as a stark contrast to the shadows of their regrets and insecurities. To them, you are the embodiment of what they could not be, a living testament to courage, growth, and the power of choice. Every glance, every word exchanged, forces them to confront the echoes of their own failings, while you remain a symbol of the resilience they have yet to find within themselves. When you stand before those who shrink from your presence, understand that their discomfort is born not from you, but from the truths you represent, truths they cannot ignore. Your strength, your perseverance, and your unwavering resolve shine as a stark contrast to the shadows of their regrets and insecurities. To them, you are the embodiment of what they could not be, a living testament to courage, growth, and the power of choice. Every glance, every word exchanged, forces them to confront the echoes of their own failings, while you remain a symbol of the resilience they have yet to find within themselves. Picture the colleague who hesitates at the edge of every conversation, the neighbor who quickly turns away as if your presence is too much to bear, or the friend whose apologies falter under the weight of unspoken truths. These moments, though small, are profound reminders of the quiet power you carry, the unshaken integrity that defines you, and the resolve that drives you forward. While their unease is rooted in their own regrets, you remain steadfast, focused on the opportunities you embrace and the growth you pursue. Their actions may whisper of the past, but your strength roars of a future shaped entirely by your own determination.